Internet trolls may be worth the trade-off to connect with a big audience online. How are you being found? It's an important question for businesses, finding the right people who are looking for your products or services. Our marketing connections experts join us to talk tactics for attracting leads. Paul Schmidt from Uno Deuce Multimedia, Jesse Flores of Super Web Pros, and Seth Getz of Symposia Labs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Glad to have you, Seth. Okay, so we have an entire tool chest of tactics when it comes to marketing: SEO, targeted ads, Google My Business, social media. Let's start to break it down. Jesse, I'm going to start with you. How can people with a small audience and an even smaller budget get found online?
Man, Julie, that is a great question. And it's one that I'm pretty sure every single one of our customers asks us. And the reality is that there are no silver bullets, but there are some things that you can do that are foundational in order to get found online. And the first thing is you've got to get your Google listing profile, your Google My Business profile set up. Like that is by far like the number one baseline local business, do this thing. You've got to have that done and keep it maintained. And there are a couple of different things that go into it. The nice thing is it's free. It's also not too hard to do. But if you're not techie and you're not sure how to do it, we've got a course. It's free that you can, go learn how to do it. So I don't want to belabor that point too much. Second thing I would do is I would get on social media and start to find local groups that might be relevant to your business and just start to participate in those groups. Make a list of 10 or 20 of these and then just be active in them with some frequency. Now, you're not going to promote everything that you're doing all the time, but just to go and be a good community member. The thing is, online is not that different than in person, right? You go to a networking event, you meet people, you connect with them, and you offer some value, and that's how you build relationships. It's not that different online. And then the final thing I would do is run a very cheap, low budget lead magnet campaign just to figure out what messaging is going to work for your business and your offer, and to start to generate leads for your email list.
Jesse, and I think one of the keys that you said there is that active engagement. You can't just create something, anything on any of these platforms and just set it and forget it, so to speak. Seth, what's the difference? Let's talk about SEO and PPC. So we're talking about search engine optimization and pay-per-click ads or search engine marketing. How and when do we use one or the other, or do we use both?
Well, both are very useful. They can be used in different situations. We're starting out with the premise that people are actually searching online for a solution that you're providing. When they are searching for that, they go to Google, they go to other search engines, they ask a question, they talk about a problem that they're experiencing. When they do that, if you're providing a solution for it, you want to be found. And to do that, there's two ways of doing that. One is you can build up your SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, which is where you build your website in such a way that your site, the information on your site, the content on your site, answers the questions that people are asking. You've got to design it that way from the ground up. So it says, when they're asking these questions, here's the solutions, here's the answers to those questions. Building up SEO credibility takes time and effort. It takes writing quality content about the right topics, and that will eventually give your site the credibility to show up high in the search engine rankings. Now, running ads is similar, but also different, because when people are looking for something specific, if you don't have that SEO long-term credibility, you can specify, I want to appear in these ads in Google or other search engines, and I'm going to pay for that. I'm going to pay to show up in the right spot. So if someone runs a plumbing company and they say, I want to be, when someone searches for water heater replacement within 25 miles of my shop, I want to be top of the rankings for that. You can pay Google to do that. And it doesn't depend on the long-term building equity of that. So both approaches are useful and should be considered. SEO is a long-term play that could take months to see results. Search ads can get immediate, dramatic results, but they will only continue as long as you keep paying them.
Got to pay to play. Seth, quick curveball. Since we're talking about ads, what about social media ads? Should that be a part of the strategy as well?
Yes, that's slightly different, because on the one side, it's when they're asking a question. Social media ads is when you say, I want this target market to see my ad, and I'm going to pay to see the ad on a social media platform. Very useful in some instances.
Paul, we've talked a lot about Google, which is obviously very important because that's the main search engine people are using to be found, to find answers to things online. Google owns YouTube. So let's talk about video and YouTube here. Why is YouTube so important?
Well, first of all, you just mentioned one of the big things is YouTube is a part of Google, and it is the second most used search engine in the world. And so right there, and everybody's been talking about how key video is, and YouTube is completely video. And so, but however, you mentioned, you had a phrase earlier in the thing, in the segment where you said you shouldn't set it and forget it. It's the same thing when it comes to YouTube. If you upload a video, it doesn't automatically say that people will come see your video. You have to use it in context with all the other things that you're doing. However, you have to optimize your videos within YouTube so that they can get found just as well. And it's really simple to do. It's just small tactics that you can do to develop that, such as having a great title, filling out some of the descriptions and using those descriptions to be able to add links and so on, or reach back out to other videos that they're uploading, and also making sure your branding is in place so people understand that this is not just just a willy-nilly YouTube channel, but this is a specific channel and a specific channel to your business, as well as making sure that you label it as such.
Absolutely.
So therefore you have all of these things, and when you upload your videos, you just do all of these things, creating that title and a specific title that can be searched. It's not so much the keywords that you can plug in as much as that title, and fleshing all that out for that, because YouTube is a very powerful tool. You should use it. It should be part of your repertoire, but because that's what people engage with the most is video. So don't neglect it either, because it's really easy to simple to implement, and it should be part of the whole ecosystem, as Jesse mentioned at the very beginning, and Seth followed up with those ads. YouTube is part of that whole process as well.
Of course, choosing the right platform for your business is key. All of this has been very insightful. Jesse, Paul, Seth, thank you so much for sharing your insights. To see more from our experts, head to wlaj.com/expertconnections and click the link for Marketing Connections.